We have got to switch gears now to the Minnesota Timberwolves. That tip-off set for about 8:30 tonight at Target Center. Could be maybe another late night. We'll see. It was a late night for Wild fans last night. But again, Target Center, Game 3 tonight. The series tied at 1 apiece. The team's back at practice this morning getting ready for the game. And this is what's interesting. This kind of set the internet on fire a little bit the last couple of days when Jaden McDaniels talked about, he was asked today about comments he made after Game 2 when he called the Nuggets bad defenders and was asked whether he was surprised at how much attention those comments got.
A little bit, but it's whatever. It's the playoffs, so that's probably why, but I'm not tripping.
Have you seen some of the responses to it, or are you blocking that out?
Nah, I mean, you go on your phone, it's hard not to see it, but it's whatever. I said what I said.
He said what he said, and the internet ate it up. That was pretty funny what he said. Just basically said, they're all bad defenders. They're all bad defenders. Pierre Noujaim joining us now to talk about this ahead of the game. What did you think about the comments and about his explanation or his reaction to the reaction?
Well, I actually don't necessarily disagree with what he had to say about the criticism in terms of Denver's defenders, but at the same time, too, I don't love the fact that you could potentially give bulletin board material to the opposing team in a 7-game series. So, but Jaden has just blossomed over the last few years. I remember there would be times where we would speak to him after the game and he would only have 2 or 3 word answers. And now you see him with a smile on his face and kind of mixing it up a little bit. So I like seeing this from Jaden McDaniels, to be perfectly honest. But, I don't like the idea of poking the bear. But, it adds fun to it. This is kind of adds to the fuel to the fire and the fun of the playoffs. So, it is what it is, like you said. And we'll see how it all turns out tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you wonder if he's thinking about that at all, about poking the bear. Does this mean that they're going to really come out there guns blazing defense-wise to prove them wrong, or is it going to get under their skin and cause maybe some errors? I mean, it's hard to say.
Well, yesterday at practice, Nuggets head coach David Adelman pointed out that in terms of their defensive efficiency, Denver ranks 6th right now of all the remaining teams in the postseason. So defensively through the first 2 games, Denver actually hasn't been all that bad if you look by the numbers. But, I would have to, if I was a player on the Nuggets and I heard somebody else say that, I think I might take that to heart a little bit and want to go out and prove somebody wrong and say to myself, oh, okay, you think we can't defend you? We'll see what happens tonight. So that's kind of the part where I'm a little worried. Again, coming back around to poking the bear, but it's up to Jaden McDaniels and the Wolves now to kind of back up their talk and attack the Nuggets the way they did in Game 2 by getting downhill and really doing damage in the paint.
Yeah, I mean, so what do you think the strategy here is heading into this Game 3 here tonight for the Wolves to really kick this off, these 2 games at home well?
Well, I think that's partly it in terms of staying aggressive and trying to get easy looks at the rim or around the rim. I think Minnesota did a great job of that in Game 2. And then yesterday when we spoke with head coach Chris Finch, we talked about the great individual defense that Rudy Gobert was able to play against Nikola Jokic, particularly in that 4th quarter. But Chris Finch was quick to point out that, there's no doubt they're going to rely on Rudy, but it's a team collective, really, on Nikola Jokic. They don't want to give Nikola the same look time after time. They want to mix up the looks and try to catch him off guard and make him think twice as opposed to seeing just the same defender over and over again. So it's going to be a continued team effort against Nikola Jokic in terms of not letting him get comfortable. He was only 8 of 20 from the field in Game 2. So those are the 2 things I still think need to happen tonight in order for Minnesota to get the win in a 2nd game in a row. Get looks at the rim, defend Nikola Jokic as best as humanly possible.
Yeah, I was looking up some of the kind of the pregame predictions here and some of the kind of the sports line betting odds too, and I saw some that were favoring the Wolves, some that were favoring the Nuggets, and this seems to me a testament to how tight this series could really be.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And, Chris Finch, again, yesterday when we were talking to him, saying there's no coincidence that there's been wild swings in these games over the last few years between these 2 teams. They're so evenly matched, and they know each other so well. And I think the last line I saw, I think it was yesterday, Rob, now that you mentioned it, I think the Nuggets were favored by 1.5 points. which I was a little surprised by. But at the same time, I mean, Denver's an absolutely solid team. So at the beginning of the series, I felt like it was a coin flip series. I think every single game is going to be a coin flip type game. So I would expect nothing less here tonight in a pivotal Game 3.
Yeah, and how much, we talk about this at every sport, the home court advantage, home field, home ice, in the experience the last few years at Target Center, how much does that come into play for the Wolves?
I think it's a huge factor, and I think it's absolutely critical. We spoke with Naz Reid and Bones Highland yesterday. We asked them that very question, and how much you guys really talk about the fact that you have an opportunity now to defend your home court and really wrestle all the momentum away from the Nuggets in this series and really try to take control if you're able to defend your home court and win 2 games. But 2 years ago, when these two teams met in the postseason, you remember Minnesota won games 1 and 2 in Denver, and then you saw Denver turn right back around and wins game 3 and 4 in Minnesota. Yeah. So it's, to me, home court advantage in the NBA is the most important home court, home ice, home field advantage of all the 4 major sports. I think it matters the most. So Minnesota, I think it's absolutely imperative for them to defend home court, because if you turn right back around and lose game 3 and Denver steals home court back right away, right after you just had a great win in game 2, there's going to be a little bit of a demoralizing feeling. Not to say that they won't be able to go out and win game 4, but you have a golden opportunity now to put yourself ahead in this series on your home court. You got to take advantage.
One last question here. Why do you think it matters the most in the NBA versus the other sports?
That's a really great question. I think there's a level of intimacy and noise that perpetuates throughout an NBA arena that when the home team really gets rolling, you can feel the waves and feel the momentum. I think, just from my personal opinion, in hockey, I think you're able to tunnel vision a little bit better on the ice. You can kind of block out the noise a little bit better on the ice at times. The NFL, I know it's 60,000 people in the stadium. I get that it's probably going to be the most noisy. But I feel like in basketball and in these arenas, it's really hard to block out fan noise. Really hard to ignore the momentum that a home team can gain by going on an 8-0 run, 12-0 run. That's just my opinion. Yeah. I don't have any scientific data to back it up, but that's just my opinion.
Your experience, though, which is valuable. Yeah. I mean, you're right. It's kind of the most intimate setting of all the sports in terms of the proximity to the fans. And the size of the playing surface. Yeah. Pierre, appreciate the time today. Look forward to this game tonight.
Okay, Rob.
All right. We'll see you later.